So we've got John and Jerome from Switchfoot. The other guys are just having a moment to chill. Obviously, these guys are jetting all over the world, so it's great to have them with us. And it's ram-packed in here. Look how many of you there are. This is great. Thank you so much for taking time out to come and join us, especially if you're watching on Facebook and Twitter as well. It's great to have you with us too. I don't even know if that's working right now.
That's where Chad and Tim and Drew are watching.
Yeah,
I know it.
Absolutely. So, got lots of questions we'd like to ask you. We might jump to the audience at some point later on. Now, as I was preparing this interview, I was kind of in this dilemma because I was thinking, you guys have been going for sort of 20 plus years. What do you ask Switchfoot that you guys haven't already been asked 1,000 times over? But what I thought we'd do is go right back to the beginning, to that garage in California when you were college students with a dream. What were your hopes and what were your fears all those years ago?
That's good.
Thank you.
Let's go there.
I wrote that question myself.
A lot of good things started in garages in California. The electric guitar started in a garage in California. I think our very first tour, however, was over here.
Really?
So we grew up listening to all these bands from the UK. I was in a Led Zeppelin cover band.
Really?
And so that was kind of the beginning. And then your voice changes and you can't hit the high notes anymore. And so you have to start writing songs, and here we are. So yeah, it's we've always loved coming over here to the UK, and
we've loved having you.
Yeah, so thanks for having us back. I'm glad the passport still works.
So looking back across this sort of 20-year adventure, no doubt there have been moments where things have probably been harder than expected. Were there any moments in your career where you thought to yourself, I just don't know if I've got it in me anymore?
Yeah. I mean, tons.
Yeah.
I think if you're honest with yourself, those moments happen more regularly.
Yeah.
And I think in today's current climate, fear, doubt, disappointment is pretty much a daily thing. You just look at the newspaper, you read about bombings and what happened in Manchester and what's going on all over the world, and there's many logical reasons to give up hope. And so today, as I was walking, I think it was this reminder that hope is not a human institution, that hope is a gift, that hope is God-breathed and God-given. And so for me, I think what our music is an attempt to do is to be a vehicle for that hope. And songs can say things better than words sometimes, so that's what we use our music for.
Well, that leads really nicely on to the next question that I had lined up for you guys, because Switchfoot has always been way more than just music. You are sort of modern day philosophers of a poetic nature, and there's often loads of passion behind what you do. I think I've lost count of the blogs that I've read or the videos that I've watched of you guys addressing important issues. What's really beating on your heart at the moment? What's God been speaking to you about recently?
I'm gonna give Jerome the mic.
He looks like he's not keen on that idea.
I just wanted to expound on what John was saying. Like, we're a band that tries to find hope in the dark places, trying to make sense of what's going on around the world. I think we're like everyone. We're always questioning where we're at. And as a band, and the things that we want to sing about it. I think at the forefront, we want to make sure that hope is our anthem.
Yeah. Absolutely, brilliant stuff. Do you guys get many stories, many people getting in touch with you saying, because of the songs you've written, this has happened in my life? Do you get many of those?
Yeah, those are absolutely kind of a nightly thing that we get letters and
wow.
That I'm looking at somebody that's at a show in Amsterdam that I read those every night.
So these guys have already warned me about a cat situation that you're pretty familiar with.
There's a cat situation right here.
Yeah. Apparently a cat do you want to? You share this.
It's an attack cat is what
You
it is.
told me this earlier, and you'll do a better job than me.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll remember this or what, but in Edinburgh 2 years ago, obviously you were climbing up the rafters and, you know, doing your thing, and then you climbed back up and got through the crowd, got up on stage, and then you turned around and went to the audience that you felt like you were a cat stuck up in a tree, and then you grabbed my phone, and ironically there's a cat on my phone.
Well, there it is again. There we go. The cat continues.
So this has become its own story now, you see. This
Yeah.
cat has become something of a minor celebrity.
It's on Facebook now.
All because of that one moment.
I mean, the beautiful thing for that, like, when we're playing, I think it's this, I grew up in the church, my dad's a pastor, right? And we're talking about deep substantive things, and yet somehow in a song, I can find myself, like, climbing and doing things that I would never do in real life, you know? Somehow where you're like, I just jumped into the crowd and now I'm crowd surfing. Is this real life? Am I doing this? I think the song can go places, you know? And one thing that touches on, you know, you were asking what's been on our mind. I think I'm excited for the idea that I've seen a new, within the body of Christ, this new honesty that where we are allowed to talk about our fears at the same time as our hopes, and to be able to bring our entirety to the cross and know that it's not just the good parts of us that need to be saved, but it's all of us, you know. So and there's something beautiful about embracing humanity, the ups, the downs, the crazy, the sane, all at once. Cat.
I guess being